So today I found myself worrying, and it's something I'm sure many of us do on a daily basis, worrying about small things, large things, medium things, creating things to worry about if you find yourself just very busy. But right now I really want to focus on how to really stop worrying. So, the reason I was worried today is that we had to take our dog Daisy in for surgery. So she's literally in surgery as we speak. She'll probably be there the rest of the day. Um, so she Daisy is a mix. We got her from the Boulder Pound right before COVID hit in 2019. She's literally my fourth child, and she's integrated into our lives so much. And I've had other animals and I've been close to them, but no one has so dramatically infiltrated our home as Daisy has. And literally, all the children think of her as a sibling, I'm sure. So Daisy loves to run. She's a solid 60 pounds. We think she's probably part English pointer, some type of pointer, terrier, pit bull mix. I don't know. I haven't done the genetic test. Absolutely the sweetest dog, very happy dog, about solid 60 pounds, but she loves to run. People see her run, they're like, man, she's super fast. Well, one day back in the end of November, my youngest son had come to visit Gabe, and he threw a ball and she ran to get it and jumped up and landed. And then she was okay during that, but the next day she kind of started limping, and we took her to the vet, and they're like, oh, I think she might have hurt her knee. And so that she got a little better. And then she had the zoomies one day, and then she really started limping. We went back and she literally tore her ACL completely. And so they're like, well, she'll need surgery. Beyond the cost, which is staggering, was the fact that she needs surgery. Just being a doctor, you understand. But I've talked to people like, oh, my dog's done great. So I know Daisy's in good hands. We've got the best vet services, and the surgeon is going to do great. Daisy will be fine. She has to wear the cone for a month. Maybe I'll post pictures. But anyway, so I found myself wallowing in worry, as all good mothers do, right? So I've spent years worrying about children. It's not healthy. But anyway, but it made me think, what I'm just going to come on here and share my story, and maybe it'll help, maybe it won't, but I'm just, again, my guys, I'm all about trying to help you as much as I can. So I made a few notes on things that we tend to worry about, at least in my own experience. I'm happy to hear others if you have worries that you've had and things that you've done. So I having also seen thousands of patients, I think there's certain categories of things that we worry about. So let me know in the comments if you agree. Letting go of past mistakes, right? So, we dwell on past errors, missteps. It's really an unnecessary stress, but we do. People tend to regret and live in the past instead of living now. The past is done. Doesn't mean you don't learn lessons. That's taking the past and making it a beneficial piece, right? That's one thing. Anxiety over future events. First of all, the future is an unknown entity. If we're blessed to have a future, that's fantastic, but we create these stories of what could be. So, like, my stomach tells me, oh, Daisy could die in surgery, Daisy could get an infection, Daisy's not going to be this, Daisy's la da da. If you have a child who's sick, like, for example, when I was in medical school, I had 3 little kids. I started medical school. The kids were 5, 3, and 10 months old. Emily, my oldest, started kindergarten the same day I started medical school. And I knew that when I went through the different parts of pathology, and you're learning about all these diseases, I just knew my kids were going to get that disease. I just knew it. Ultra paranoid. Anyway, it's not a good personality to have when you're a mother and trying to go to medical school and you learn about these things. You're like, oh my goodness, they have this. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so you start worrying about, and you come up with these stories and thinking. And again, it's all an illusion, because I don't know what the future is. I'll deal with the future when it comes. That's the best way to do this. Now, it doesn't mean you don't plan or think about things, but that's productive thinking about the future versus worrying, getting caught in the worry, right? I'm sure all of us have been there. Next, seeking validation from others, right? Constantly seeking validation from others is exhausting. It's anxiety producing. Like, you come onto YouTube and you're sharing your life and you're sharing your stories. It is remarkable how you get some amazing comments. They're so joyful and lovely. You get these few little negative comments. Like, I stuck in my head like 2 years ago, someone said, "Oh, you look like a boy," or someone would, not like a comment that you made, thinking that it was something else. And, these can be very, if you don't have a thick skin, it can be quite demeaning. And as a human, you're still a human. So anyway, I have a pretty thick skin. I just laugh this any kind of a negative comments. I just, don't worry about it. Like, whatever. These poor souls, I feel sorry for them. But anyway, I get off track. I think our young people are also seeking validation from others, comparing themselves. Social media makes that really hard. People are highlighting the reels of their best life, and you feel ultimately like a failure for whatever reason. And then you see jealousy, and it just puts in your heart things that you shouldn't be needing to worry about. I am so thankful that my kids are already grown to raise children in this type of world. And even though it's wonderful, there's so many things you can do on the internet and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm obviously right here. How hard that must be. And to be a young teenager, or especially a young woman, I can't even fathom what that must be like. Yeah. So there's that. I think the other thing again is really perfectionism, trying to be perfect in everything and letting perfection get out of the way of progress. So that is such, I think, people are like, they want to do something, but they want it to be planned out so perfectly that they never get started. That's one thing. And then when they do something, they get so hyper focused on down into the weeds. Again, you have to let it go, see what's working, and then detach yourself from the outcome. That's so hard for people because they become emotionally invested. But anyway, be it in perfection in how you look. There is no perfection. It's a made up entity in our head. Who are we trying to live up to? Nobody is expecting you to be perfect except ourselves. And then when we compare ourselves, or people make these comments, that's where we get down this very painful spiral, right? So I know I've certainly do it. I've always wanted to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect doctor, whatever. I want to be the person that can help, right? That is just beat yourself up. And again, it's breaking our soul as humans. So anyway, and then control over external circumstances. I think this kind of gets to that worry about the things in the future. I know I was always a control freak because when I didn't have control, I felt like I was putting myself at risk, and it was a vulnerability I wasn't willing to accept. There were things in my life that allowed me to understand it's okay that I don't need to have control. All I can do is respond in myself. And that is such an easier way to live. And that's living in the present moment. That's such a huge thing. If someone can grasp this early in their life, it'll just save you so much stress in the future. But really understanding you can only control your reaction. You can only do what you can do. You can either accept a situation or do something to change the situation. And stop trying to control and make people live to your expectations. I know I really had this idea that setting expectations for my kids and wanting them to live up to my expectations, a really big important lesson I learned early on as my children entered adulthood, is that it's their lives and I can't place my expectations on them, nor that mean what a horrible thing for me to do as a mother. I really need to understand that they are independent, wonderful humans, and they're going to live their lives and make their mistakes. And I'm not living their life. They're living their life. Their life is going to be different. And that's beautiful and wonderful. And once I did that, that made my job as a mom so much easier because now I can just enjoy and love being them as an adult, right? Um, but yeah, I could do a whole thing on parenting. But next steps. So those are the 5 things I want you to just think about. These are the things I worry about. What can we do? I think the things that I really think that are very, very helpful that I've seen help my patients and help myself is deep breathing. Practice your deep breathing. There's wonderful science about it. There's lots of ways you can do it. Navy SEALs use it. Um, and I always grew up when I was really stressed, I would take deep sighs. When I was stressed out, trying to raise 3 kids in medical school and all the craziness that was going with that, my husband's like, "Are you okay? You're sighing a lot." Little did I know, it's just like relieving stress. It's kind of like when you look at Daisy, we took her to the vet this morning for her surgery and she's like shaking. That's an animal's way to release the tension. And so think about it in that sense that you're connecting to the parasympathetic nervous system and you're slowing down, you're connecting to the present in the moment, and you literally will decrease the stress. So this could be, like I mentioned before, I think Andrew Wise, integrative doc, amazing. But 4-7-8 breathing. You breathe in over 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 7 and out over 8. You do that for 4 cycles. You could do box breathing. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and in. Okay, do that. With little kids, you could do this. You could breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. So now you're connecting to your hand, you're grounding, you're feeling, you're using those senses, and you're connecting to your breath. You're bringing yourself to the present moment. Because what problems do you have in the present moment? You have a problem in the present moment. Again, you have 2 choices. You can act upon it. You can do what you can do right now, or you can accept it and move on. It's really that simple. Anyway, at least I've made it that simple, and it's worked in my life. This is kind of leads us to the next thing. Acknowledge and accept your worries, right? We understand that worrying happens. But once we come back to the present moment, we just say, I'm worrying about this and why, but what does that mean right now? Do I accept it? Okay, it is what it is. Or 2, I need to do something about it. And then you go do, even if it's the smallest thing about it. If you're paralyzed by the overwhelm of what you're needing to do, if it's a big thing, what is the one thing you can do right now to make it better or start in the path to make it better? If you have a health worry, right? And you are absolutely stressed about let's say you have type 2 diabetes and your blood sugars are out of control or anything. What is instead of worrying about, I'm going to lose my kidneys, I'm going to lose my sight, I'm never going to feel good again, I'm not going to have it. Stop, breathe, take a moment and say, okay, I'm in this state. I accept this is where I am. There's no sense in debating that. It is where it is, what it is right now. What is the one thing I can do today to make this thing better? As a type 2 diabetic, I'd say eat more plant fiber, low glycemic foods. So I would include beans. I would say really thinking about tons of vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, salad, something. That is the one thing you can do right now to feed your body well, which will help your blood sugars in the long run and start reversing the process. Next is engage in a gratitude practice. And I think there's something here that, again, gets you to focus on the good things in your life and you pulls you out of that worry or coming from a scarcity mindset. I can't tell you guys, this is 3 little pound organ in our head. It's just so important. It really dictates the quality of your life. And the gratitude, there's a simple way to do this is connect something that you're grateful for to every sense. And I've already kind of spoken to this, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like looking for 5 things, 5 senses that you can see, or just connecting to the present, but you can also do it with gratitude. What is one thing I can see that I'm grateful for? My husband brought me flowers the other day, absolutely precious and beautiful. I'm thankful for that. What can I hear? I love hearing the birds sing in the trees. What can I smell? I have Earl Grey tea every single morning And the smell of that just makes me happy. What can go smell? Here, did that taste? Taste would be my Earl Grey tea every morning, or my smoothie. I have a smoothie that I drink every single day, makes me feel amazing. And then what can I touch? I'm thankful for being able to touch my hands to my heart and feel that beating, because that makes me know that I'm alive and I'm here in this moment. So there's that. And then the other piece is grounding in your sensory awareness. We kind of already went over that, right? It's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or you can just do it, mix it with the gratitude piece, and it grounds you in the current state. And then finally, I think, which has been huge to so many people, that the more I speak about it, I did that 21-day weight loss free course. You can see it on the website if you want to see it, and it's free. Was the journaling prompts and understanding the mindset. And in 2 days, I'm going to be doing a workshop on the psychology of weight loss. And I've learned so much by speaking to people and understanding this mindset piece is such an important piece, but it's the journaling and kind of taking what's scattered in the mind and putting it on your journal, and you're writing the elements of it with a story. But the whole point here, what I'd like to do is have an outcome to this journaling piece is, what is at the end, what is the lesson that you learned about whatever it is? Like, what is it here to, how did you grow? Is there something that you discovered about yourself, or something that you discovered that maybe you didn't typically care about yourself? If that was something there, how can you make it, build a different skill set or change that? Or maybe you discovered something that you're constantly attracting in toxic relationships. What can you do about that, right? So then this evolution, or that growth, is so powerful that you have now changed the story that you were relating to. Maybe that's something that was sticking with you, and you changed it. So now it's a more powerful thing for you. Wow. So this all started back with Daisy and her surgery, and my worry about her, but I know she's going to be okay, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm okay with that. I'm here now. I'm sharing that with you. So, and I will give you updates on how Daisy's doing. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. Again, as always, I want to give you something that means so much to me. Is I'm sending you in this moment love, peace, and joy. And because we all need a little bit more of that in our lives every single day. And if I can help one person with this video, I hope it does. Please feel free to share and subscribe, and you guys know what to do. But I appreciate you for spending time with me today. It means a lot to me. And yeah, so there's that. You guys have a blessed rest of your week, and just know that there are people who care and love you. And I really hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.